Introduction to International Document Recognition. In an increasingly globalized world, the need for documents to be recognized and accepted across different countries is paramount. This recognition is crucial for various personal, academic, and business endeavors, from studying abroad to conducting international trade. Without proper authentication, a document valid in one country may hold no legal weight in another, leading to significant complications and delays. The process of international document recognition ensures that official papers such as birth certificates, academic diplomas, or business contracts are deemed legitimate by foreign authorities. This course will delve into the mechanisms that facilitate this cross-border acceptance, focusing on the two primary methods, apostilles and traditional consular legalization. The need for legalization. Legalization is the official process of authenticating a document so that it will be recognized and accepted in a foreign country's legal system. This procedure is necessary because each country has its own laws and regulations regarding the validity of foreign public documents. Without legalization, a document issued in one country might be considered invalid or untrustworthy by authorities in another. Historically, this process involved a complex chain of certifications, often requiring multiple government agencies to verify the authenticity of signatures and seals on a document. This traditional method, while effective, was often time-consuming and cumbersome, posing significant challenges for individuals and businesses operating internationally. What is an apostille? An apostille is a certificate issued by a country that is party to the Hague Apostille Convention, authenticating the origin of a public document. It essentially verifies the signature and seal of the official who issued the document, making it valid for use in any other country that is also a party to the convention. This streamlined process significantly reduces the bureaucratic hurdles associated with international document recognition. The primary purpose of an apostille is to simplify the process of legalizing documents for international use. Instead of a multi-step consular legalization, an apostille provides a single, universally accepted form of authentication. This means a document with an apostille does not require further certification by the embassy or consulate of the foreign country where it will be used, saving both time and effort. The Hague Apostille Convention, officially known as the Hague Convention abolishing the requirement of legalization for foreign public documents, was signed on October 5, 1961. This international treaty was established to simplify the process of authenticating documents for use in other signatory countries. Before the convention, documents often required multiple layers of certification, including by the foreign embassy or consulate. The key objective of the convention was to replace the cumbersome and often costly traditional legalization process with a single, standardized authentication certificate, the apostille. By doing so, it aimed to facilitate the free flow of documents between member states, promoting international cooperation and reducing administrative burdens for individuals and businesses alike. Countries party to the convention. As of today, a significant number of countries worldwide are parties to the Hague Apostille Convention, encompassing a broad range of nations across all continents. These signatory states recognize and accept apostilles issued by other member countries, streamlining the process for their citizens and foreign nationals alike. The list of member countries is regularly updated, reflecting the convention's growing global adoption. For a document to be authenticated with an apostille, both the country where the document was issued and the country where it will be used must be parties to the Hague Apostille Convention. If either country is not a signatory, then the traditional consular legalization process will be required instead. Understanding which countries are members is therefore crucial for determining the correct authentication procedure. Non-Hague countries, traditional legalization. For countries that are not signatories to the Hague Apostille Convention, The traditional legalization process remains the required method for authenticating foreign public documents. This multi-step procedure is more complex and time-consuming than obtaining an apostille, as it involves several layers of certification by different authorities. It is essential to understand this process if you intend to use a document in a non-Hague country. The traditional legalization process typically involves certification by a local notary public, followed by a county clerk or state-level authority, and then by the foreign country's embassy or consulate located in the document's country of origin. Each step verifies the authenticity of the preceding signature and seal, culminating in the foreign embassy's final approval. This ensures the document's validity within their jurisdiction. Types of documents requiring apostilles. Many different types of public documents commonly require an apostille for international use. These typically include vital records such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, and death certificates, which are essential for personal matters like immigration, family reunification, or inheritance. Ensuring these documents are properly apostilled is a critical step in many international processes. Educational documents, including diplomas, transcripts, and academic records, frequently need apostilles for students pursuing studies or employment abroad. Furthermore, various business documents, such as articles of incorporation, powers of attorney, and commercial invoices, may also require an apostille for international transactions and legal compliance. The specific requirements depend on the destination country and the purpose of the document. Documents not requiring apostilles. While many public documents require an apostille for international recognition, certain types of documents typically do not. Commercial documents, for instance, often fall outside the scope of the Hague Apostille Convention, unless they are specifically certified by a public authority or notary. Examples include shipping manifests, invoices, or packing lists that are purely for trade purposes and not public records. Documents intended for internal use within a company or organization, or those exchanged between private parties without requiring official government recognition, generally do not need an apostille. Additionally, documents exchanged between diplomatic or consular agents are usually exempt. It is always advisable to confirm specific requirements with the receiving authority to avoid unnecessary steps. Who issues apostilles? Apostilles are issued by designated competent authorities within each country that is a party to the Hague Apostille Convention. These authorities are typically government offices responsible for authenticating official documents. The specific office varies from country to country, but they are always official bodies authorized to perform this function. Common examples of issuing authorities include the Secretary of State's Office or equivalent in the United States, the Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, in the United Kingdom, or the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in many other nations. It is crucial to identify the correct authority in the country where your document was issued to ensure proper processing. The Apostille Certificate. Key elements. The Apostille Certificate itself has a standardized format as prescribed by the Hague Convention, ensuring its universal recognition among member states. It is typically a square-shaped stamp or a separate sheet of paper attached to the original document. This standardization helps prevent fraud and ensures clarity regarding the document's authenticity. An apostille certificate contains 10 mandatory numbered items of information. These include the country of issue, the name of the person who signed the document, the capacity in which that person acted, the name of the authority that affixed the seal, the place and date of issue, the issuing authority's signature, and the apostille certificate number. Understanding these elements is key to verifying an apostille's authenticity. Applying for an apostille. Process overview. The general process for obtaining an apostille involves several key steps, beginning with ensuring your document is eligible and properly prepared. This often means obtaining an original document or a certified copy from the issuing authority. Understanding these initial requirements is crucial for a smooth application. Once the document is ready, it typically needs to be notarized by a public notary, especially if it's a private document or a copy. After notarization, the document is submitted to the designated competent authority in the country where it was issued. This authority then verifies the notary's signature and seal, and if everything is in order, issues the apostille. The process can vary slightly by country and document type. Document preparation for apostille. Proper document preparation is the most critical step in the apostille process, as any error can lead to delays or rejection. Firstly, ensure you have the original document or a certified copy issued by the relevant authority. For example, a birth certificate must be an official copy from the Vital Records Office, not a photocopy. Many documents, especially those not issued by a government entity, like a power of attorney or a diploma, will need to be notarized by a public notary before an apostille can be issued. The notary's role is to verify the identity of the signatory and witness the signing, ensuring the document's authenticity for the subsequent apostille process. Always check the specific requirements of the receiving country and the issuing authority. Understanding notarization. Notarization is the act of a notary public, a public official, certifying the authenticity of a signature on a document, and sometimes the document itself. The notary's primary role is to deter fraud and ensure that documents are properly executed. This process adds a layer of credibility and legal weight to a document, making it more trustworthy in legal and official contexts. When a document is notarized, the notary public verifies the identity of the person signing the document, ensures they are signing willingly, and observes the signing. The notary then affixes their official seal and signature, along with the date of notarization, to the document. This act confirms that the document was signed by the person named in the notary's presence on a specific date. Types of notarial acts. Notaries public perform several distinct types of notarial acts, each serving a specific purpose in authenticating documents. One common act is an acknowledgement, where the signer declares to the notary that they have willingly signed the document. This is often used for real estate deeds, powers of attorney, and contracts. Another important act is a jurat, where the signer takes an oath or affirmation before the notary that the contents of the document are true. Jurats are typically used for affidavits and sworn statements. Notaries may also certify copies of certain documents, verify vehicle identification numbers, VINs, or administer oaths for depositions. Each act requires specific notarial wording and procedures to be legally valid. Notarization for international use. When a document is intended for international use, the notarization process often requires additional considerations beyond standard domestic notarization. The notary must ensure that their seal and signature are clear and legible, as they will be the first layer of authentication for foreign authorities. Any ambiguities can lead to rejection down the line. Furthermore, the notarial certificate, which is the specific wording used by the notary, must be complete and accurate according to the requirements of the country where the document was issued. Sometimes, a longer form notarial certificate may be required to provide sufficient information for foreign officials. It is always best to inform the notary that the document is for international use so they can apply the appropriate procedures. Choosing a notary public. Selecting a qualified and reliable notary public is crucial, especially when dealing with documents for international use. Look for a notary who is properly commissioned and bonded in their jurisdiction. Their commission should be current, and they should be familiar with the specific requirements for notarizing documents that will eventually receive an apostille or go through consular legalization. An experienced notary will understand the nuances of international document authentication, including proper identification procedures and the correct notarial wording. They should also be able to advise on whether a document needs to be notarized and what type of notarial act is appropriate. Don't hesitate to ask about their experience with international documents. Common challenges in apostille process. Despite its streamlined nature, the apostille process can present several challenges if not handled carefully. One common issue is incorrect document preparation. such as submitting a photocopy instead of an original or certified copy, or a document that lacks the necessary prior notarization. These errors inevitably lead to rejection and delays. Jurisdictional issues can also arise, particularly if the document was issued in one state or province but needs an apostille from a different authority. Delays are frequent, often due to high volumes at issuing offices, incomplete applications, or unexpected administrative hurdles. It is essential to plan ahead and allow ample time for the entire process. Avoiding fraudulent apostilles, the increasing demand for international document authentication has unfortunately led to instances of fraudulent apostilles. It is crucial to be vigilant and aware of how to identify and avoid fake certificates. Always obtain your apostille directly from the designated competent authority or through a reputable authorized service provider. Be wary of offers that seem too good to be true, such as unusually low prices or extremely fast turnaround times. To verify the authenticity of an apostille, check for the 10 mandatory elements as prescribed by the Hague Convention. Many issuing authorities also provide online verification services where you can enter the apostille certificate number to confirm its validity. If you have any doubts, contact the issuing authority directly for confirmation. Never rely solely on visual inspection without official verification. Electronic apostilles, e-apostilles. In response to the digital age, the Hague Conference on Private International Law has developed the concept of electronic apostilles, or e-apostilles. This initiative aims to modernize the issuance and verification of apostilles, making the process even more efficient and secure. An e-apostille is a digital certificate issued and stored electronically, often with a digital signature and timestamp. The benefits of e-apostilles include faster processing times, reduced administrative costs, and enhanced security features that make them harder to forge. They can be easily transmitted and verified online, eliminating the need for physical documents to be shipped. While not all countries have fully implemented e-apostilles, their adoption is growing, representing the future of international document authentication. Legalization for non-Hague countries. Step by step. For documents destined for non-Hague countries, the traditional legalization process is a multi-stage journey. The first step typically involves notarization by a local notary public who verifies the signature on the document. This is followed by certification from a county clerk or a state-level authority, such as the Secretary of State, who authenticates the notary's commission. After state-level certification, the document often needs to be authenticated by the U.S. Department of State, if applicable, for federal documents or documents originating from federal agencies. The final and most crucial step is legalization by the embassy or consulate of the destination country, located in the country where the document originated. Each embassy has its own specific requirements and fees, making this the most variable part of the process. Specific document examples. Birth certificates. Birth certificates are among the most frequently apostilled or legalized documents, often required for international purposes such as immigration, obtaining foreign citizenship, or applying for international visas. It is crucial that the birth certificate is an official, certified copy issued by the Vital Records Office in the state or country of birth, not a hospital record or a photocopy. Before submitting a birth certificate for an apostille or legalization, ensure it has the original signature and seal of the issuing registrar or county clerk. If the document is old or damaged, you may need to obtain a new certified copy. Any alterations or unofficial copies will lead to rejection of the authentication request. Specific document examples: academic diplomas. Academic diplomas, transcripts, and other educational records often require an apostille or legalization for students pursuing further education abroad, seeking international employment, or transferring academic credits. The process typically involves authenticating the signature of the university registrar or school official who issued the document. It is essential to use official, sealed transcripts and diplomas. Before submission, ensure your academic documents are original or certified true copies from the educational institution. Some institutions may require you to request a specific type of certified copy for international use. If the document needs notarization prior to the apostille, ensure the notary properly verifies the signature of the school official, not the student's signature. Specific document examples: business contracts. For international business transactions, various corporate documents and contracts frequently require an apostille or legalization to ensure their legal validity in foreign jurisdictions. This can include articles of incorporation, powers of attorney for foreign representatives, commercial agreements, and resolutions of corporate boards. Proper authentication prevents disputes and facilitates smooth international operations. When preparing business documents, ensure they are signed by the authorized corporate officer and, if required, notarized. The notary will verify the signature of the corporate officer, not the company itself. Always confirm the specific requirements with the foreign entity or legal counsel in the destination country, as business document requirements can be highly specialized and vary significantly. Costs and timelines. The costs associated with obtaining an apostille or undergoing traditional legalization can vary significantly depending on several factors. These include the issuing authority's fees, notary fees, any service provider fees if you use an expediting service, and shipping costs. Government fees for apostilles are generally modest, but additional services can add up. It is advisable to research all potential costs upfront. Timelines also vary widely, from a few days to several weeks, or even months, for complex traditional legalization processes involving multiple government agencies and foreign embassies. Factors influencing timeline include the volume of applications at the issuing office, the efficiency of the postal service, and the specific requirements of the destination country. Always plan well in advance and factor in potential delays. Best practices for international documents. To navigate the complexities of international document authentication successfully, adopting best practices is essential. Always plan ahead, allowing ample time for each step of the process, especially if dealing with non-Hague countries. Research the specific requirements of the destination country and the issuing authority thoroughly before starting. Seeking expert advice from legal professionals or specialized service providers can save significant time and prevent costly errors. Maintain organized records of all documents, applications, receipts, and correspondence throughout the process. Double-check every detail, from spellings to signatures, to ensure accuracy and avoid rejections. Proactive preparation is key to success. Conclusion: navigating global document needs. This course has provided a comprehensive overview of apostilles and international document notarization, equipping you with the knowledge to confidently navigate global document requirements. We've explored the distinction between the Hague Convention and traditional legalization, identified key document types, and detailed the crucial steps involved in each process. Understanding these mechanisms empowers individuals and businesses to operate seamlessly across international borders. The ability to properly authenticate documents is a vital skill in today's interconnected world, whether for personal milestones like international marriage or professional endeavors such as expanding a business globally. By applying the principles and best practices learned, you are now better prepared to ensure your documents are recognized and accepted wherever they need to go, facilitating your international aspirations.